Blake Griffin hasn't had the typical superstar career path. We all remember the insanely hot start to his career, where he quickly became known for plays like these.
I mean, look at this play by Blake Griffin. Best dunk of the year by far. Never touched the rim with his hands. Oh my.
Blake's high-flying and explosive game made him a fan favorite, and his stock was quickly rising all around the league. Everything seemed to be going great for Blake. He was a young superstar living in LA, he was on a championship contender, and he had his whole career ahead of him. Unfortunately though, playoff failure after playoff failure slowly led to the Clippers core breaking up, and Blake was left to rebuild the pieces with the Clippers. In a shocking move 2 summers ago, the Clippers decided to move on from Blake and trade him to the Detroit Pistons. Many thought that this would be the last we heard of Griffin in the superstar space. He's had his fair share of injuries and surgeries, and as an aging player with declining athleticism, it made sense to wonder how much he really had left in the tank. But this year seems like BG has benefited from getting a little less attention, and he's proving the doubters wrong. Blake is putting up the best numbers of his career in his 11th season and is showing that he still has some of his prime left. With averages of 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, most experts have pegged him in as a third-team All-NBA forward, beating out many other deserving candidates. He's starting to again get recognition for what he's doing on the floor, even if the casual fan isn't aware. Blake has always been a player that's interested me for many reasons, and I've been watching his game very closely this year. I noticed early on in the season that he was playing really well, and I wanted to know why. One of the most interesting things about Blake's season has been his willingness to shoot threes. When he first got moved to the Pistons, I worried how him and Drummond would navigate the court. Drummond is obviously a rim-rolling big man, and Blake had only stretched out his game to as far as the mid-range while he was in LA. My question was quickly answered when I looked into the three-point attempts, and I saw that Blake was attempting a career-high 7 three-point attempts per game, which was clearly and easily by far the highest in his career. To put this into perspective, his previous season high was 5.7 attempts per game. And surprisingly, he's not just chucking these threes up. He's hitting them at about a 36% rate, which is around the league average. To show you how drastic this change is, let's take a look at Blake's shot chart in his rookie season. You can see almost everything is within the paint and there's very few volume behind the three-point line. Now if you look at this season, you can see the volume has increased dramatically. He still has his paint damage, but he's replaced those inefficient mid-range jumpers with more threes. Now obviously with more threes comes a lower field goal percentage, which is sitting at about 46%, but with the amount of offensive responsibility that he has, I'll happily take those numbers. Even beyond the basic numbers, Blake's advanced numbers have been great too. His true shooting percentage, which is a better figure of shooting efficiency, is the highest in his career. His PER, or player efficiency rating, which takes into account all shots during a game, so mid-range, free throws, layups, threes, that number is the highest it's been in 4 years. We all knew that BG could pass and rebound, but it took him a while to develop this all-around game that's maintained his elite play even with his athleticism declining. An argument can be made that he had the second best season in the East behind Giannis. Who else had that big of a workload with a lack of a supporting cast? If you think about it, Blake's second best player wasn't even an all-star this year. It was even more obvious how valuable Blake is in the first round matchup of this year's playoffs against the Bucks. The Pistons got destroyed in the first couple of games without him, and even on an injured knee, he was able to put up some pretty good numbers in the next 2 games. The Pistons are an interesting team. They don't get much attention, but if you go back to look at the box score, you'll see that BG has had some monster games this year. He's arguably just as good as his Clipper days, and it's just that his style has changed. And honestly, I think this style is for the better. The Pistons are once again a playoff team under Blake, and I think it's safe to say that he's returned to superstar form. Leave your opinion down below, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.